Yes, now addressing the elephant in the room, which is this particular AI, which is a generating AI that is making the news everywhere, really disrupting an interesting idea about what it is for us as humans, as students, as lifelong learners, to be able to be more critical thinkers when it comes to various subject areas within our fields or connecting fields. And as an educator who is actually teaching at an intermediate school, and we are addressing a lot of critical important issues as young learners are becoming more integrated into society. How are we going to be able to deliver lessons and instruction, and most importantly engage students in order for them to be able to be competitive critically when they are in the workspace? And yes, our school students, they are no strangers to this software, which is known as the what? The Chat GPT. And ChatGPT is quite a fascinating software, which of course we talked about it, which is a generative AI, which means that it collects all the incredible information from the world that we have right now and put them in a constructive, incredible, structured, let's say, way for you to be able to digest. Now, everyone has already talked about how to approach this, and I'm going to give you a couple of tips as an educator, for you to be able to use this particular software, for your classroom to be more critical thinkers and also be successful learners, not only now but in the future. So let's begin. The first tip is that you as an educator should see this software as a foundation and a structure, a backbone that you as an educator can build on when it comes to delivering a specific type of lesson. And what does that mean when you're looking at a backbone? This means that you need a little bit of an outline on ideas on how to deliver a specific topic. Let's say, for example, if you're looking for a demonstration about osmosis, you can just go into the software and type key ideas about demonstration of osmosis, and the results that comes out, which are outlined, can be something that you can have as a general point, and you can select the ones that best fits your specific classroom learners, and then you can build on that information to generate more concrete information for that specific type of classroom that you might have based on that topic. So that is first thing to keep in mind. It is a backbone. Second is generating diverse resources from the same idea. And what does this mean? This means that when you're in your classroom and you have different levels of learners, level 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want your students to be able to achieve a level 4 type of result, and you're wondering, how can I gather critical samples of those levels for your students to compare and contrast and see what makes level 1 different from level 2, level 3, and level 4? The software can be a great resource for you in terms of, hey, if you have a particular type of example, like for example developing a lab that has a level 1 structured result, and you have that same comparison for level 2, 3, 4, and let's say the lab is about diffusion, and you have those different results that are produced or generated by this software. This can actually be nice as an educator to be able to show students that this is a level 1, 2, 3, 4. These are my expectations for you to be able to achieve this level 4, and if you want to be in that level 1, that can be what your result will look like. In addition to that, this can be an evaluation tool for you as an educator to look at how you can create a rubric from each of those levels that are generated by the AI, and these can enable you to properly assess, hopefully, if that is equitably valid. Furthermore, as an educator, this can be a nice way to catch any form of plagiarism, because of the fact that your students need to be able to create a resource or a reference for their ideas, because definitely any article that are created definitely has a link or a specific reference to an original source, and this AI doesn't provide that tool yet. So this is a nice way for educators to engage their students in what it's like to develop a unique article that has a proper structure in terms of not only referencing ideas but also delivering facts versus ideas or opinions. And so this can be a wonderful introduction of that to your students, enough for them to be able to respect and recognize that their idea, their product can be scrutinized based on that grounds of references. On the flip side, you can discourage the use of this software or limit the use of this software by your students in terms of developing questions that involves investigation, involves collecting data, involves analyzing data, and those will be crucial for your students to be able to foster critical thinking and use that tool, which is your chat GPT, as an extra layer of resource that will enable them to compare and contrast whether their results actually matches what the AI produces for them in terms of their rationale behind what is happening in the system. And so this is a wonderful way for your students to use that resource as a backup state for them to critically understand and explain further, give depth into what is presented and also produced from their experiment. Next is in terms of differentiated instruction. This tool can be helpful in terms of creating ideas on how you can reach different learners in your classroom in terms of delivery of information, either in terms of various areas of studies, but also maybe ideas related to their interests. And this can help the students to be able to foster a form of learning that best fits their style in order for them to be successful in that specific subject area. And that might be important because not many resources that you find on regular Google will enable you to develop a proper structure to foster this type of learning for a student. So this can be a really great advantage for you as an educator to reach those type of learners through the ideas generated by this AI. And this comes down to the speed at which these resources can be properly delivered, specifically to the type of question that you put on this AI. Some of these resources that you find on the internet takes time enough for you to find them, and some of them are not really specific towards a particular type of learner. But in this particular case here, this time saver software is really a great benefit for those type of scenarios where, for example, a new student comes in, we know the specific learning style that kids has, but at the same time it's really challenging to be able to figure out what best tools are available. And this here, by putting in many resources at a timely manner, will enable you to figure out which one sticks for that student quickly, and then this will enable you to further push for progress for that student in the classroom. And finally, one huge question that people have been asking is, how are the information provided by this chat GPT AI accurate? And it's been proven that it's not as accurate as you think. Not in terms of 100% of course accuracy, but a little bit in a 90% zone. So please, when you're checking out any information or gathering resources from these AI, please make sure you confirm that the facts that are presented by this AI matches the actual research resources that you'll find on Google, and this will enable you to be able to properly vet the information that you're getting from this resource, and also be skeptical of the results that are gotten from this resource as well. And this will enable you to not only be critical in what you are getting from this information, but for your students as well to catch or be a detective when it comes to figuring out whether the resources that are generated from these program is valid or out of date. So it's going to be interesting to see how the updates that this resource is going to be pushing for, not now but in the future, improves on the accuracy of the information, but also in terms of diversity of how this information can be presented. Is it going to be presented in imagery format, complementing the text that are provided? Will it be transformative in terms of the video format, the speed at which these can be created, and also reaching different learners in the classroom? These are many things that we are excited to check out for this particular software and how this applies to education in our classroom. So please hit the comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts about these tips and informative discussion about this particular software, ChatGPT, and let us know your thoughts about other ways by which you can use this in your classroom. And hope to see you all on the next one. All the same, stay smart as always and believe in yourselves.